Good morning and welcome back to Speak Up here on the CW Philly. Melmark is an organization that provides care for children and adults with disabilities in the area, and they offer day and residential services as well as programs like adult day workshops. And joining me this morning is Melmark's president and CEO, Dr. Joanne Donovan. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And thanks for being here with us today. We do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Well, if you could just help us or tell us a little bit more about Melmark and exactly what the organization does, who it helps, and things like that.
Well, the first thing I have to tell you about Melmark is it's the happiest place on earth.
Is that right?
It is.
I like it already.
It is. You know, and the reason it's the happiest place on earth is that we serve absolutely wonderful people, and the staff that we've assembled there to take care of, train, and teach those people are about as dedicated as it gets. Mm-hmm. And the environment is just a happy place. Yeah. And I know a lot of times people think about a service or a set of supports like a Melmark as something that's sad. It's not sad at all. We serve children and adults from 5 way through the life cycle. Some people stay there through their 60s until they die. Yeah. So we've always wanted to be a multi-generational campus. So we are our own little village, as well as having homes in the community. We also have a school in Andover, Massachusetts, which also serves children with autism and behaviors. So to break it up a little bit, we've got our school, mm-hmm. which is kids from 5 to 21. And these are children who have intellectual disabilities, autism, often across the autism spectrum, often with difficult behavior, neurological disabilities, various kinds of intellectual disabilities, brain injury. So there are many ways in which a person might get to Melmark, but at the end of the day, their intellectual capabilities have been impaired. Mm-hmm.
And you service about how many people overall? I know that the age runs from, like you said, 5 to 60
right.
or however long.
Right.
But about how many people do you serve?
Well, for our school kids, we serve 80 children in Pennsylvania and 110 children in Andover, Massachusetts. Oh. So we've actually got the 2 schools. We also have when the children turn 21, we have a vocational program where we attempt to help them learn the skills they need to get a job, help them learn, and continue to help them learn to substitute difficult behaviors for more functional behaviors so they can kind of get along in the world, go to dinner with their family, succeed at a job. And then we have adults who are not at all behavioral, who are just people who have intellectual disabilities at one level or another. Melmark was started in '66 by a family whose last child was born with Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. So Paul and Mildred Crennel started Melmark as the home that love built. And so we still embrace all of the love and the joy of the original mission. They started it because their last child was born with Down syndrome, so they started Melmark as a home for Melissa and friends. Mm-hmm. And so the early children that came to Melmark, most of them had Down syndrome and were pretty high functioning. And those children have since grown up. Many of them are still at Melmark. They live in the community or on or around our campus, and they participate in something we call the Meadows Village program. And what I always say about the Meadows Village program is if you have a son or daughter who's an adult, that you would like the nearest normal, most joyful life, put them in one of our homes at Melmark, mm-hmm. because they've got peers. One of the things that's probably the biggest problem for especially adults that don't have a place where they are is when work is over, and for a lot of our kids when school's over, what then? Mm-hmm. Whereas if somebody comes into the Meadows program, they live with people like themselves. They make very, very good friends. They go and have a productive day of work. Either they go into the Meadows program itself, which is a craft program based on making, there's weaving that goes on, so clothing is made, and it's horticulture based, and they make and sell the products. Mm-hmm. And it's modeled after a Scottish guild. So the business, and they own shares in the business, and at the end of the week, they're judged on how productive, not how productive, but how pleasant were they to get along with, did they collaborate well with their peers, did they arrive on time, and then they're given a certain number of points. And then at the end of the week, they have this big meeting, and everybody gets assigned their points in public, and so everybody knows it's pressure.
It's pressure.
Pressure's on. So that way we teach them the work skills, we teach them good communication and participation with other people in the world. Some of them spend a good part of their time there. Others spend some time there and then have regular jobs in the community. They may work in a grocery store, or they may work in any type of variety of settings. We also serve adults who are are a little bit more intellectually disabled, and they have programs that resemble the Meadows, but they're kind of geared to what they need. So we have some folks who come by day for those programs. We have some folks who live with us for those programs. And then we've got our kids are, how shall we call it, adorable.
I thought I was going to say, they're probably adorable, aren't they?
They're adorable. Challenging, but adorable. And our job with them is to, the children come in, they have a variety of problems, both cognitive and behavioral. And our concept is to take the whole child, to assess their strengths and their needs, and to tailor a program to meet those needs. So many of our children have autism and behaviors, and we use the applied behavioral analysis methods, which are methods that basically help us substitute for the child behaviors that are constructive for what they need or want from those that maybe are a little bit too disruptive.
I see. Okay. So you can really gauge their growth.
Yes.
At an early age, yeah.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, what everybody wants to be able to do is communicate.
Yeah.
And since many of the children can't communicate, sometimes they're communicating with behaviors that are not all they could be. So we try functional ways to communicate.
All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break,
okay.
Dr. Donovan. We're going to come right back and continue our conversation right after this Speak Up returns. Stay with us. Welcome back to Speak Up here on the CW Philly. I'm Natasha Brown. My guest this morning is the president and CEO of Melmark, Dr. Joanne Donovan. We're talking about some of the services Melmark offers to children and adults with disabilities, the happiest place on earth.
Yes.
And you've explained why that is, and you also explained just the growth that you see from kids that are 5 years old all the way up to adults who, you know, stay there throughout their life.
Some stay throughout their life, some stay as little as a year.
Yeah.
It really depends on what's good for them, what works for them. So
I know we were getting about the Dream Makers Ball. You can tell us a little bit about that, because that sounds like fun.
Yes, indeed. Every other year we do a ball, which is a fundraiser for Melmark. And this year will be May 1st at the Bellevue downtown here. It's quite an elegant affair and a lot of fun. One of the things I would have to say that we really believe at Melmark is that life is short and fun is important. Okay, we're very big on fun. And this ball is certainly a lot of fun, and it provides us, it allows us to provide our children with some of the special things that isn't provided by their tuition. And so we do that every other year. We also do a golf tournament, the Schumacher Classic, which takes place every year in the fall, and numerous other things by which we raise funds to try and give our kids and adults, you know, all the best, that everything they need that's extra, to give them that extra push to move ahead in life as fast as they can.
Yeah, and this is very gratifying for you, I'm sure, just to be a part of such an organization.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. You know, it's when people come to tour, one of the things they always say is, we love touring because everybody looks at you, says good morning, how are you? They don't look at the floor. They don't walk by you as if you're not there. Yeah. And I think it's that special thing about Melmark that makes it such a delightful place to be.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I do appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
And best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And that's going to wrap up our show today. My thanks to all of our guests this morning. For more information on today's show, you can visit our website, cwphilly.com/speakup. And while you're there, offer suggestions for the show or email us comments about today's show if you'd like. I'm Natasha Brown. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone.